Hi, welcome to Edward Box Guitar Tuition. So my classic album inspection today is Ratt's Reach for the Sky, released 1988, November 1st. It's 35 years old today. So this isn't a highly thought of album in the Ratt catalogue. People tend to mention obviously Out of the Cellar and Invasion of Privacy, and there seems to be a kind of contrarian soft spot for Dancing Undercover, but I think that's their weakest album of their original 5 full albums, obviously not including the Ratt EP. I've always quite liked this record. Again, when I first moved to Newcastle to study at college, this was one of the first albums I bought in my first term. And I was particularly taken with Warren DeMartini's solos on this album. Dancing Undercover, he kind of calmed down a bit and the solos were mixed a bit low, but there's some obviously great lead work like on Body Talk and 7th Avenue. But on this he cuts loose a bit more, but he also brings in some lovely sort of chicken picking, bluesy stuff like Way Call Jr., and it just adds up to the overall sound being something I enjoy. Again, in true Ratt fashion, it's 39 minutes 25 seconds, 10 tracks. It's shortened to the point. So a bit of the sort of background to this is actually worked with Mike Stone. Mike Stone was the producer initially, but Warren DeMartini really wanted to work with him. Mike Stone also produced Journey and done Whitesnake. But I think things weren't going well. I think by this point, Mike Stone may have had quite a lot of problems with alcohol. I know he just died with complications from that. They sent the tapes to the record company and they were like, no, this isn't good enough. So yet again, Beau Hill was brought back. So Ratt there's always seems to be some tension with Beau Hill. I can't work out why. Beau Hill did a stellar job of Out of Cellar, giving them a hit album. He continued that with the Invasion album. Yeah, they maybe could have done with a change for Dancing Undercover. But Beau Hill was renowned for when bands having trouble or issues in the studio, being able to make a band sound good. Warrant's a good example of Beau Hill working his magic where he actually brings in session musicians, but they don't need that Ratt. So the album opens with City to City. This is really good. This has got a really cool groove. I think that the problem is Pearcy's melodies aren't as great on this, and his vocals by this point, it's like he's just fallen into this kind of stock Pearcy thing. The extra effort he put in back on the early albums has gone. There's probably by this point there's a lot of drunk drinks and ego problems, but I like this track. And he got on What a Woman. I think Robin Crosby does one of his few solos on this. Again, Beau Hill actually gets quite a few co-write credits on this, so maybe he's gone in and put a polish on the arrangements and have re-recorded. And then you've got Way Call Jr., which is something of like a later Ratt classic, really cool groove on this. Definitely hearing the Aerosmith influence on this with the groove. Cool sort of chicken pick riff, hybrid pick riff from DeMartini on this. Then track 4's Don't You Bite the Hand That Feeds. This has got a great rocking riff, really cool. DeMartini lead on this. He does that thing where he puts in that lovely kind of syncopation and kind of bounces over the beat thing. And the side one of the original vinyl finished with I Want to Love You Tonight, which is quite an epic sort of feel with a ballad. I think this is good. It's a better track, for instance, than Close to My Heart off Invasion. Really cool DeMartini solo with some nice kind of delay harmony at the end. Every track, side one there's a couple over 4 minutes, all the rest are under 4. It's solid. It's not, it's missing You're in Love. It's missing Lay It Down. Wanted Man. I'm aware of that, but there's still a consistency there. Side 2 started to dip a bit. Chain Reaction, in spite of a great DeMartini solo, it's just got lame lyrics. Chain Reaction 1, 2, 3, Satisfaction Guaranteed. We could come up with that very easily, couldn't we? So that's not a great track, but then track 7's excellent. Again, it's got a nice Aerosmith groove. No Surprise, obviously Aerosmith did a song that the Ruts called No Surprise. Great guitar sound on this. Sometimes the guitars are mixed a bit polite on this album, but you can really hear the room on this. DeMartini's quite a lot of gain. Great riff. Great lead break. Cool fade out and that. DeMartini really sets the mark on this. It's DeMartini Pearcy composition, this. And, it shows that they're hitting out of the box on this. Next one's up's Bottom Line. Again, a fantastic solo by DeMartini, but not a great track. But you know, it's okay. Then you got the last two tracks is What's It Gonna Be and What I'm After. I don't know why the band decided to have two tracks with what in the title to finish. That's always a bit strange, but they're actually good tracks. What's It Gonna Be is really poppy and kind of predates those really commercial Desmond Child tracks, co-writes on the Detonator album. Again, really good DeMartini solo. And What Am I After is got some really cool chords on the verse, and it's a good track. You know, none of the tracks, they're all really well arranged. It's a tight, it doesn't outstay its welcome. Yeah, it lacks an out-and-out classic, apart from maybe Way Cool Jr. But it is pretty consistent. There's some great guitar on it. Sally Robin Crosby by this time is pretty much, you know, left the ship. But you know, I've always liked it. It was a time in my life where, you know, that was the release that week, you know. There was always albums coming out then, and it had quite a lot of spins. I got really into it. I do prefer it to Dancing Undercover. What would I mark out of 10? I think it's a 7 out of 10. I think it's, you know, Coughs and Splits to 7 out of 10. You know, I would understand if people would give it less, like a 6. There's maybe people who give it an 8, but I think that's about right. It's worth checking out, and you know, it continues a good, not a classic run, but a good run of albums for Ratt. You know, they did peak with their first album. Okay, pretty short review there. The only other thing I say about this, you know, it still went platinum in the States. It still made number 17. Ratt were still like a good live draw. But you know, it was coming to an end. Okay, remember, share and subscribe. I'll hopefully see you again soon. And thanks for checking out this classic album inspection. Thank you.